Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at the 2018 Foster School of Business graduation celebration. Please take a moment to silence all electronic devices. To begin, we would like to acknowledge the land that we are on, the University of Washington and Foster School of Business, acknowledge the land we are on and the peoples who came before, the Coast Salish peoples of this land, which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. Thank you. And now, please rise to recognize the Foster School of Business faculty and the graduating class of 2018.
Yeah. Wow. So that's what the next generation of business leaders really looks like. Nice. Graduates, parents, family and friends, fellow faculty and staff colleagues, Mr. Gary Furukawa and Dean Giambalvo, good afternoon and welcome. Please be seated. Just like in class. I am Steve Sefcik, Professor of Accounting and Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs at the Foster School of Business. And it is my genuine pleasure to be here with all of you this afternoon at this very special gathering. Thank you all for coming. I know all of you in attendance today are extremely proud of the graduate you are here to support. Please share your photos, your thoughts, your shout-outs, probably some other term I'm not familiar with, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any other social media site, and please include for us hashtag UWGrad2018, all one word. That's hashtag UWGrad2018. As I look out at this impressive group, I think about the investment that we have made in you. This investment has many stakeholders: your family and your friends, your mentors and your advisors, your classmates and your colleagues, your professors, and perhaps most importantly, you. Yes, you. You have made an investment in your education. You have spent countless hours going to class, studying in the library, working on group projects, writing term papers. You've participated in case competitions. In fact, some of you just last week, Management 430. You have attended numerous Foster events. You've worked on student consulting teams and participated in career service activities. You've helped build and served as leaders in Foster clubs and organizations, and you've studied abroad. Yes, you have made a substantive investment in you. You have made a significant and a long-term investment in your education and in your future career. And like all investments, it's time for us to think about returns. After all, this is a business school. What sort of ROI will you earn? What sort of return on investment will you generate? What sort of dividends can we expect? Look, let's be clear here. This is not about debt service. This is not about payback, right? That's the wrong direction. This is about pay it forward. Yes, forward. I'm not talking about writing a check, not today. I'm talking about building our brand. I'm talking about helping us make Foster the best public business school in the United States. Yes, there you go. I'm talking about finding a way to help students who come after you. So how then? Well, come back, share your experiences with a class, serve as a mentor for one of our clubs, serve as a judge in a case competition, help us place a student in an internship at your firm, serve as a business expert in a social cause or a charitable organization that you believe in. Share your expertise. These are the types of activities that compound your investment. These are the returns we expect, and that is how you pay it forward. So, what are your future goals? What can we expect from you? The Foster School of Business creates futures and transforms lives. And we are committed to educating and guiding talented minds towards successful outcomes. Success is evidenced by our employment statistics, by our long-standing partnerships with iconic Northwest companies, and by advancement of business as a force for good, the so-called nobility of business. But again, I ask, what are your goals? Where will you take this incredible education that you have received? How will each of you pay it forward? This, then, is your real challenge. Will you accept it? Yes, I believe so. I sincerely believe that each of the 794 undergraduates that make up the class of 2018 will be up for that challenge. These graduates are strategic thinkers who know how to roll their sleeves up and take on real-world business challenges. These graduates are passionate about making a difference. Yes, I am absolutely certain they will leverage their phenomenal college experience to ensure extraordinary future success and impact. And yes, I am confident that each of these undergraduates here today has the education and the skills, the commitment, and more importantly, the honor to pay it forward. And with that, it's time to move on with our program. It is now my special pleasure to introduce and welcome a friend, a colleague, and a fellow accountant up to the podium. Please join me in a warm welcome for the Dean of the Michael G. Foster School of Business, Jim Giambalvo.
Thank you and good afternoon. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Foster School of Business, it's my pleasure to welcome the family and friends of the class of 2018. And graduates, congratulations on completing a rigorous program of study, one that will prepare you for the challenges of today and form a solid foundation for the lifelong learning necessary to sustain your careers in our ever-changing business environment. The Foster School was founded in 1917 and has a long tradition of excellence and a wide geographical influence of which to be very proud. It's a distinct pleasure to welcome the class of 2018 to the ranks of the Foster alumni, and I hope and expect that the world of business and society will be better for your efforts to create economic opportunities for yourselves and others. Our alumni impact Foster programs every day, providing our students the encouragement and financial support they need to be successful. Now, as Dean Sefcik said, you as alumni, it's your turn. Represent the Foster School with pride and return to campus to invest your time and expertise. Support from our alumni is essential as we work to provide the very best business education in the United States. Members of the class of 2018, please know you have my admiration for the hard work that led to a Foster degree, and you have my very best wishes for future success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. It is now my pleasure to introduce our student speaker for today's ceremonies. I haven't even got his name out. He's got a cheering. Abel, please stand. Abel Zawoldi. That's terrific. Abel is a double major in information systems and marketing. Since his first days on campus, Abel has had a strong commitment to many of our Foster communities. Abel is president of the Association of Black Business Students and has been a mentor in the Young Executives of Color program. He is a member of the National Association of Black Accountants and a student in the Lavin Entrepreneurship Program. He is also a student representative on the Foster Diversity Committee, and has been very helpful to us this entire year. I want to take a moment to share with you how Abel's student and staff colleagues describe him. Incidentally, these are quotes. Abel epitomizes hard work, dedication, humility, community, respect, and leadership in everything he does. He is truly an inspiration to all. In the time I've worked with Abel, I grew to understand his superior empathy for others. He is a true leader. He is an amazing student that truly brings up people around him as he achieves bigger and greater things. And finally, Abel is a tremendous gift to the Foster community. The proud son of African immigrants, Abel has an intense understanding of privilege in American society and consistently espouses messages of understanding and bridging divide. He is intelligent, passion-driven, and has an infectious drive passed on to all of his friends and our community. I feel strongly that Abel represents our class and the Foster School because he can articulate messages that our students need to hear. Wow, that's pretty moving tributes from his colleagues. Upon graduation, Abel will be moving to the Bay Area in California for a finance rotation program with Apple. As you can hear, this is a guy who has already started paying it forward. Please join me in a warm welcome for Foster's 2018 graduating class student speaker, Abel Zawolgai. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Boy, oh boy, wow. How's everyone doing today? Good? Perfect. Good afternoon. On behalf of the students of the Foster School of Business, I'd like to thank everyone who is joining us here today. From far and near, family, friends, faculty, staff, and most importantly, the 2018 graduating class of the Foster School of Business. Woo! See, now before I begin, I have a small request of the graduates. I didn't tell you guys to stand up. Hold up now. You guys can sit down. I got all of Eritrea over here. Did anyone understand what I said? I just asked all of you to stand up and wave to the people that helped you on this journey in my native language, Tigrinya, which is spoken in Eritrea. Since that was unsuccessful, we might have to try that again later. We are all here today because of those who made sacrifices for us. I stand here today not because of my journey, but because of the journey my parents, Takhle and Mahalet, started. My dad was born in a small village in the East African country of Eritrea at the age of 8. At the age of 8, he began helping his family on their farm. Life was peaceful. His family never worried, and they truly had everything that they needed: love, food, and each other. My father trekked 17 miles regularly to begin high school. Now let's just stop and take that in for a moment. How many of us order Uber Eats from a place that's less than 2 miles away? That's everyone. I know that's everyone in that crowd. I'll order Uber Eats from a restaurant on the app, and my father routinely walks 17 miles to go to school. But that was his commitment to his education. Within 3 months of starting school, however, word spread that Eritrea was at war with Ethiopia to gain independence, and the school abruptly closed. Ethiopian soldiers began to raid small villages, and my father and his friends left to join the Eritrean guerrilla fighters. When they got to the camp, the soldiers told them to leave, as they had no space. My dad returned to his village to protect his family. While herding animals, Eritrean soldiers entered his village and recruited 20 of his peers to join them. He raced to catch up to them, but they were gone. He later learned that each of those men died. My dad acknowledges that he is a lucky man. His older brother soon asked him to come to the capital, telling my father that there was a job waiting for him. But it was all a ruse to get my father back into school. My dad eventually became a registered nurse in Eritrea. He began his career at the height of the war, seeing injuries that no person should ever see. With the lack of resources and skilled caretakers, he often played the role of doctor, pharmacist, and nurse in critical times. One day while grocery shopping, he noticed a young woman running the store, my mother, Hey, Mom, where you at? Hi, I love you. Impressed by her beauty and the management of the store, he decided to take his chance, and 30 years later, they're still married today. So apparently good management skills can find you guys love. So whoever took management 300, 320, there you go. Unlike my father, my mother grew up in the city, being one of 10 children. She was admired by her community for being wise beyond her years and her business acumen. She was my grandfather's right-hand woman and oversaw all the business operations before she was even 20. Even in the midst of war and uncertainties, my mother was a trendsetter, being one of the very few women who drove at the time. No wonder my dad was so impressed. My parents never had a plan to leave Eritrea, but the war seemed to have no end. With the desire to have better opportunities and to escape the 30-year war they grew up in, they risked everything for the opportunity of a better life. They traveled through Israel and Greece before arriving in Canada. They continuously had to learn new languages, cultures, and social norms, something that many of us, as the world becomes more globalized, are going to have to do. In Canada, my dad could only find work as a cleaner. To make money, he cleaned parking lots, scraping gum from the asphalt on his hands and knees. Imagine a well-respected nurse in his home country in a foreign land cleaning gum off the ground. But he didn't let this deter him. My parents were eventually brought to Seattle by my aunts. While setting to gain his RN license, my parents worked numerous jobs to support our family here and back in Eritrea. My father has now been an RN, helping people in the US for the past 20 years. My mother obtained an IT degree while being a stay-at-home mom, raising me. Just think about it, having to restart your life over and over again. My parents, as well as many of the parents in this arena today, are the definition of grit and perseverance. It is immigrants like my parents who make America great. Contributing individuals who risk everything that they know and love to better the lives of their loved ones. They are the glue that keep this country functioning. The one thing that ties most of us together is that at some point, one of our ancestors made the trek for a better life for their families. The vast majority of the people in this room are not indigenous people who can claim original title to this land. Rather, we are immigrants or the descendant of immigrants. Bashing immigrants and the power of their labor is a false narrative. Standing in New York Harbor, Lady Liberty implores the world to give her their tired and poor, yearning to breathe free. She says, "Give me your tired and poor." She doesn't say, "Let a couple of them in. Where's your H-1 visa? Where are your papers?" She says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses." My family heard her call. They arrived poor and tired with hope for a better future. And I stand here today as a first-generation immigrant child, a proud American citizen, yearning to give back to the country that I love. As graduates of the Foster School, when we find ourselves in boardrooms, when we find ourselves in meetings, be sure to look around and ask yourself, do the people represent the totality of our culture? Do the people in this meeting equally represent the people I am trying to sell my product to? Do the people I'm collaborating with represent the people I am trying to reach? And if not, take a lesson from Lady Liberty and go find them. Recruit them to your cause. There's something valuable that each of us brings to the table. The best potlucks are those where everyone brings a dish, right? All right. One of the biggest lessons my mother has taught me is to be empathetic to others. And at times it's challenging, but she's there to remind me. My mother also taught me how to dream, to look beyond those around me and to look to those I desire to be. She built my character and gave me the confidence to go about any challenge. She ingrained in me a positive mindset and to always be optimistic. I am who I am because of her. Now, I may not be a Muslim woman who wears a hijab. I may not be the white man who is the first in his family to go to college. I may not be the veteran returning to civilian life after serving our country. but I can choose to have empathy for their experience. There are people in our country today who are afraid of using their voices because they have given so much to get here in the first place that they are scared it will be taken away. So I say to you this: don't be a bystander. Be the voice for the people whose voices are oftentimes unheard or ignored. And always stand up to injustice when you see it. Your character is more important than any paycheck. This is not our time to surround ourselves with walls. It is our time to be global citizens and to explore the people around the world and their rich diversity. Collectively, we need to understand that the power that we bring in uniting these states of America. Instead of making assumptions about others, let's ask, question, and challenge our existing thoughts and beliefs, and learn from those around us. Like many of you, I stuck my face in a lot of books for many years, thanks to them, hoping for the day that everything would make sense and all my work would pay off. And today, well, today's not that day. This was my dream, but as my mentor often says, when you achieve a dream, pick a new one. Hey, Quinn. Today was my dream and the dream of my parents. Tomorrow, there will be someone staring back at me in the mirror, wondering what is next. No matter what you think, we did not just live the greatest time of our life. The best is yet to come. The time of our lives where we can live and pursue our greatest purpose is now. We have control of whether we pursue our passions to our greatest ability or live the remainder of our lives just going through the flow of life. I don't care if you're 22 or 82. Our time to live the best version of our life starts when we recognize that time is precious and doing something you truly don't care about isn't worth your time. But sometimes we have to do something we don't want to do as a stepping stone to where we want to be. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend that I have any clue about my greater purpose. In fact, I'm more confused now about what I want to do than when I got here in the first place. Yes, I know what you're thinking, parents. These kids can't decide what they want to do, but we're millennials. What can you do? This is actually a good thing. We're supposed to be uncomfortable because that's when we learn, and we're supposed to struggle. This is the beauty of life and the beauty of living in this country, the ability to try all things, to be in a position with opportunities from all angles. We must recognize that this is the privilege that we have in living in this country. As we get ready to walk off this campus, I want to remind us about the first day we walked on this campus. We were googly-eyed. We didn't know anybody, but we reached out and made connections. And we tried to do a ton of things. Every day that we walk into an office and every day that we work to achieve a goal, we need to do so as the same googly-eyed freshman. There are languages and stories all around you. Learn from them. And now more than ever, ask questions and remain open to the experiences and the people all around you. We're entering a time where it's going to be unfamiliar. We're going to be around people who look and speak differently than us. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So, do you remember what I asked you earlier? Let's see if you were listening. نبض حكم صدرابتكم تقطعوا بلو سلام بلوام. I bless you on this journey on behalf of myself and my family. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Man, that
I now have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Gary Furukawa. Gary is the founder of Freestone Capital Management, one of the premier wealth advisory and asset management firms on the West Coast. The firm currently has over $4.2 billion in assets under management. Gary serves as the Chief Investment Officer of Freestone, manages Freestone's Opportunity Partners hedge funds, and serves as a co-manager of Freestone's real estate funds. He's also a member of the company's board of directors. Prior to founding Freestone, Gary worked for E.F. Hutton and Solomon Brothers Smith Barney, where he was the senior vice president. And prior to Smith Barney, he worked as a certified public accountant in the tax department of Deloitte & Touche in Seattle. Gary has received the Foster School's Distinguished Leadership Award in 2015, which is the school's highest non-degree honor. And I'm proud to say that Gary shares his deep financial knowledge by lecturing on investments in both our undergraduate and MBA programs. Please join me in a warm welcome for a tremendous alum, Gary Furukawa.
Thank you very much, Dean Gimbavo and the university community. I love being involved with the school. I'd also like to welcome you guys, the parents, honored guests, friends and family. You can't see me, so I'm going to move out from the podium. When Dean Gimbavo asked me to be the keynote speaker, my first reaction was, why me? Aren't famous people commencement speakers? Nobody's heard of me, except these guys over here, my family. Nobody's heard of me. I'm a little Asian guy from the Rainier Valley. So, why me? But I love a challenge, so I'm here. I want to talk to the parents first. I have 4 kids. This is not my first rodeo. This is for you, really, and you guys know this. The graduates, you think this is for you today? It's for your parents. Think about this. Your mom, she lugged you around in her womb for 9 months, changing those poopy diapers, potty training, boring soccer games, crabby teenage years, yelling at you to study for the SAT. 22 years of highs and those memorable lows, because as a parent, you remember the lows. You know what I'm talking about. So parents, I salute you. And graduates, if you don't thank your parents today, you can thank them tomorrow when you move back home. You graduates, you're part of a cohort that the experts call Generation Z, or the post-millennials. You're a larger cohort than my group. I was a baby boomer, and the millennials who came before you. According to the experts, they say that you've been profoundly affected by the 9/11 terrorist attacks and the financial crisis of 2008-2009. This has created a sense of insecurity in your generation. My theory also is that you guys have had smartphones almost from the day you were born, and I suspect that that's probably contributed to your insecurity as well. So because of that, your generation, having a job isn't enough. I'm pretty sure to your parents, you having a job at this point is great. But for your generation, you guys want something more. You want fulfillment and excitement from your job. I shudder to think that I'm going to be hiring some of you. As graduates of the UW, you guys get a certain toughness. This is a large public university. I went here. Nobody's coddling you. You guys have to figure out stuff on your own. It's great training for life. First of all, it's a lot harder to get into the school than it was when I applied in 1977. Secondly, you guys had to scratch and claw to get into the business school, which I understand is very difficult. So you think about that. You get in, and then once you're here, you're graded on a curve, and the curve is merciless. How many of you graduates went into an upper-level business class on the first day of the quarter, and you looked around, and you realized most of the top grades in the class were taken, and they weren't going to be yours? I remember that. To prepare for my speech, I listened to YouTube videos, watched YouTube videos of famous speakers give commencement speeches. They talk about wise and heartfelt things. They imparted wisdom. They tell you to make your mark, listen to your spirit, change the world, dream big. I think this is crap. No offense, but at age 22, your dreams are likely to be kind of irrational. I know when I was 22, I was dreaming about making out with some girl I saw or something like that. So that's your dreams at 22. So instead of talking about dreams, I'm going to talk to you instead about being a doer and learning from the best teacher of all, which is life itself. You learn some important stuff in school, but there's no better teacher than life. Life is really simple, It's just not easy. I love to go grocery shopping, and when I'm at the checkout stand, I look at the magazines. Every magazine has an article about losing weight. But we don't need all these articles about losing weight because we know what it is. It's 2 words. Eat less. Simple, not easy, just like life itself. I started receiving life lessons at an early age. I grew up in Rainier Valley, the tough part of Seattle. My dad died suddenly when I was 7, and my enduring childhood memory was watching my mom cry at the dinner table. I felt incredibly helpless, but I also realized that I was going to have to be responsible for my future. At 10, I worked for my family's dry cleaners in Renton. I worked at the front counter. The counter came up to here. I would help people with their clothes. I learned how to explain to the customers why we couldn't get a stain out of their pants. This is a skill that's proven useful for me today in my current profession. When I was 16, I had fireworks stands in Seattle and Bellevue, and in the fall, I had a pearl jewelry booth at the Puyallup Fair. I hired my friends to work for me. I learned how to manage people, and I can tell you that managing your friends is a lot harder than managing people who are not your friends. I do notice that most of the people that I hired back then, they're not my friends anymore. At age 17, I graduated from Franklin High School, and I entered the University of Washington. During my first quarter here, I had a professor of sociology, Fred Campbell, who so inspired me that for the next 4 years, I took every class that Professor Campbell taught, even in subject areas that I had no interest in. I realized for the first time in my life that learning could be really fun and interesting. At 19, I was attending the University of Washington full-time. I was working full-time cooking in restaurants downtown, and I was buying foreclosed houses from Fannie Mae and HUD. I was very busy. I learned how to manage my time. At 21, I graduated from the University of Washington. I passed the CPA exam, and I went to work for a large accounting firm. After 2 weeks, I knew this wasn't going to be a good fit for me. But I stuck with it. I spent another 14 months there. I learned so much about business, and I also learned that sticking with something that immediately wasn't super interesting could be a good thing. When I was 22, I started working for a large Wall Street firm as a stockbroker in Seattle. My future father-in-law couldn't understand why I would give up a safe and secure accounting job for something as uncertain and tenuous as a finance job. But I loved my new job, and it turned out I was pretty good at it. I learned that taking a chance when you don't have any obligations and you're young could be a good thing. When I was 27, I married my awesome wife, Della, and I learned that who you marry is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in your life. Della, wave your arm. There she is. I've also learned that my marriage works better when I do what Della says. At 36, my friend Eric Dillon asked me to go look at a startup. This was an internet book-selling company that was raising money. The entrepreneur was named Jeff Bezos, and the company was Amazon. We invited another friend to come with us, but he didn't have any money. He didn't save. He was kind of a big spender, so he didn't come. I learned that having money available to make an investment could be a really good thing. At 39, I started Freestone Capital Management on one simple idea. I just thought we could do a better job than what we were doing at the big Wall Street firm that I worked for. Being part of something bigger than myself has been very satisfying. But I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about me to inspire you, to prove to you that even from humble beginnings, success can emerge if you just keep moving forward. Why are you guys laughing? I'm going to give the graduates 3 important life lessons today. My 4 kids who are sitting right here, they kind of roll their eyes when I talk to them about life lessons, but hopefully some of this will sink in because I'm not your dad. Lesson 1. Lesson 1. Find something you're really good at, because this is where your passion may be hiding. Commencement speakers often encourage you to find your passion. How the hell are you supposed to do that? When I was 22, I had no idea. People my age, most, I think, don't really know what their passion is. Drinking beer and eating ice cream isn't really a passion area. So what you need to do, graduates, you need to get out there and do lots of different things. Try different things. Be willing to take some risks when you're young, because that's the way you're going to find your passion. Your passion will be in something that you're really good at. I coached baseball teams for years, and I observed that my best players, they always had a great time. So when you're good at something, that's where passion starts. I could have stayed in my accounting job. I was actually pretty good at it. I also played squash with my boss, so he loved me. But I realized that I needed to find a career with a better fit, and investing became my passion. Lesson number two, ignore negativity and focus on the things you can control. We live in a world right now where there's negativity all around us. And yet, by most objective measures, things are really great. You graduates, you're taller, richer, healthier, longer lived, and freer than any generation that we've had before us. There's nothing to be negative about. So tune out the negativism. I read a study from Oxford University where this professor wrote that in 30 years, half of all the jobs in the US will be eliminated by artificial intelligence, including the accounting jobs that many of you just spent 4 or 5 years getting ready for. Don't pay attention to that. If you look at the history of negative predictions, negative predictions are almost always wrong. If you just look at it, otherwise we'd be dead like 1,000 times over. So work hard, keep learning, take care of yourself physically and mentally, work on getting better yourself. That's what you can control. You can't control artificial intelligence or anything like that. I love sports, and I was watching the 7th game of the Cleveland Cavaliers Boston Celtics game a few days ago, and I loved the interview with LeBron James after the game. LeBron was harping on the media about how negative the media had been about his weak supporting cast. The Cavaliers have LeBron James and a bunch of guys who are not that good, mainly. But LeBron James didn't worry about that, right? He just focused on what he could control, and now the Cavaliers are in their 4th finals in a row. So that's what you need to do. Lesson number 3, my final lesson for the graduates and everybody else. Quality relationships with your family, friends, and community are what make you happy. There's been a lot of studies on happiness. Money's great, but more money after a certain point doesn't make you any happier. Your generation used to vote when you were younger that fame was your number one objective, but fame doesn't bring happiness. Just think about the misery that a lot of celebrities go through. If you think about times in your life when you felt most alive and you developed the best memories, you were probably with your family or friends. So just remember, in your guys' quest for success, you need to make a living. Living in Seattle is very expensive. Never forget what really matters, though, these quality relationships with your family, friends, and community. Graduating class of 2018, in 15 minutes, I've now passed on to you most of the wisdom that I've accumulated in the 37 years since I graduated from the University of Washington. I'm serious, that's all I have. I'm super excited about your future. Life won't always be easy, but if you think about it, nothing worth having ever seems to be very easy. So get out there, be a doer, and get started on your adventure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary, for being a part of today's celebration, and thanks for your inspiring and motivational words, even though I'm pretty sure the comment about beer wasn't positive. Now it's time to start the formal recognition part of our program. I would like to invite each of you graduates to take to the stage so that we may recognize all of you individually. Students, our ushers, will welcome you one row at a time to come to the left or the right sides of the stage. When your name is called, please join me or Dean Giambalvo by crossing to the center of the stage. At this time, I'd also like to welcome Vicki Haig-Day, the Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Programs, and Frank Hodge, Chair of the Accounting Department, who will read names of each of today's graduates.
Ready? Face Jim. Rio de Leon.
Abel Zoldai.
Clarissa Chrisnowen.
Alvin Benavides.
Nicole Goodfleisch.
Case Berger.
Rahel Solomon.
Raphael Golte.
Samra Meyer.
Michael Tekle.
Theben Gebra Mikhail.
Sarab Sharma.
Julia Allen Piilani.
Helen Hopte.
Haywan Solomon.
Allison Masankai.
Deja Carey Brown.
Dilnaz Hassan.
Nia Tran.
Ted Munyanya.
Safira Izani.
Andrew Christian Williams.
Adriana Peruskia.
Bahari Watkins.
Yesenia Velasquez.
Bontu Yusuf.
Christopher Ho.
Malik Sise.
Shanze Juma.
Kelsey Bright.
Amy Squires.
Chloe Wong.
Kate Young.
Connor Chapman.
Amanda Schmitz.
Jake Johnson.
Jack Post.
Cody Ing.
Chris Cave.
Mason Shiganaka.
Lander Lee.
Angus Alder.
Rachel Wilson.
Erica Benedicto.
Stephanie Wang.
Sophia Urrutia.
Lynn Nguyen.
Jennifer Louie.
Andre Zivandi.
Anna Sabarats.
Marshall Wright.
Victoria Berelskaya.
Brendan Kroll.
Talia Haller.
Phoebe Yo.
Sabrina Devont.
Samuel Coppinger.
Christiana Nels.
Alexandria Christina Leal.
Mark Hyung.
Timothy McCool Balyena.
Jordan Jessen.
Randeep Kaur.
Harrison Stenberg.
Shanice Petrie.
Mateusz Marcel.
Adrian Lynn.
Tyson Harriet.
Tate Bramer.
Anna Sonnen.
William Burt Emmel.
Christian Dempster.
Catherine Cormier.
Molly Moe.
Melissa Roa.
Jajia Chu.
Justin Williams Ruth.
Chen Lu.
Delaney Fry.
Della Welch.
Jesse Boyle.
Yi Chen Fu.
Anastasia Fisher.
Leila Shihata.
Jamie Housen.
Rachel Talney.
Michael Ashley.
Thomas Cheng.
Julie Tobiasen.
Jessica Kent.
Lillian Hendricks.
Stephanie Lim.
Carolyn Garzina Ulus.
Chanrithi Kuch.
Michaela Comfort.
Brian Cho.
Marissa Rowe.
Robert Haveman.
Francesca Rojas.
Dimitri Parrish.
Akehiko Lin.
Cameron Yos.
Cindy Wong.
Corey Yos.
Alex Dunmeyer.
Josephine McKisson.
Brian J. Hart.
Brian Wen.
Daniel Delnick.
Carson Hill.
Ben Adams.
Caitlin Tollefson.
Kevin Hiddle.
Michael Petter.
Scott Wismer.
Jihoon Michael Young.
Nick Hovorka.
Anthony Bermudez.
Dan Kingma.
Daniel Shen.
Kelly Kingma.
Talon Grimm.
Ella Thompson.
Alex Wilson.
Jenna Moser.
Ryan Roth.
Mason Douglas.
Calvin Behrens.
Emily Rowe.
Christina Pennington.
Jennifer Gormley.
Christina Fisher.
Diana Rusnov.
New Win.
Yulia Chmir.
Kate Bailey.
Christopher Dudler.
Brian Schatzel.
Ariana Moscatel.
Sarah Britt.
Rebecca Crabtree.
Courtney Moran.
Catherine Zhang.
Maddie Hall.
Madeline Watkins.
Dylan Fletcher.
Morgan Rowe.
Ryan Colkett.
Brian Scott.
James Fort.
Cody Tayo.
Joshua McLaughlin.
Cray Bryan.
Kevin Peters.
Joshua Crawford.
Nikhil Mizra.
Dana Schroth.
Dylan Trotterman.
Lindsay Lagon.
Charles Gardner.
Sean Lakey.
Edgar Lopez Garcia.
Rodolfo Silva III.
Warren Preston.
Britt Carlson.
Ryan Takeuchi.
Ariel Mizrathi.
Jenny Nguyen.
Anuv Vogel.
Hong Bui.
Patrick Wren.
Vanessa Peterson.
Joyce Deng.
Alina Stakova.
Cody Chen.
Oksana Clemento.
Toby Rutkowski.
Louise Carmona.
Michelle Suboy.
Scout Fulner.
Brandon Layard.
Daniel Glassberg.
Kyle Thomas.
Jackson Mint.
Chelsea Sakala.
David Carlson.
Janae Brown.
Faith Kim.
Jared Williams.
Nathan Wu.
Rachel Harley.
Alec Shimizu.
Alida Scalzo.
Angela Lee.
Lauren Harrison.
Connor Johnson.
Sunjit Jala.
Kaylin Mitchell.
Nariman Tirani.
Kemper McQuaid.
Eva Fu.
Andrew Sa.
Andre Han.
Jacob Deitel.
Yanting Lin.
Molly Hammer.
Tree Tran.
Aaron Dow.
Koi Tran.
Patrick Carney.
Chaying Look.
Justine Edrozo.
Katie Case.
Erica Kwan.
Hillary Jatikusama.
Ikman Carr.
Youngshan Chang.
Christy Khoury.
Maya Martin.
Preet Paul Sangha.
Nathan Shadnick. Stian Myris.
Shabazz Ahmed Perez.
Jacob Schmidt.
Madison Ormson.
Dylan Rock Simons.
Numan Ajaz.
Alyssa Hallowell.
Lauren Hong.
Corbin Schaffer.
Jaren Padre.
Dawn Marie McGuire.
Lily Mara.
Natalie Bargash.
Libby Snow.
Amelia King.
Isabel Hyatt.
Jesslyn Rosabella.
Lucas Boland.
Enkanyelish Kitsela.
Noah Holmes.
Nadine Estrada.
Nathaniel Flood.
Naomi Kim.
Noah Rankin.
Angela Yee.
Eric Robertson.
Heidi Downhauer.
Bobby Yeager.
Samuel Dwayne Olson.
Troy Stolarczyk.
Peter Dahoney.
Josh McGrew.
Max McKay Premer.
Julia Tran.
Graham Gustafson.
Sahib Singh.
Michael Urquhart.
Tyler Nakagawa.
Robbie Farber III.
Preston Gullidge.
Alexander Wu.
Nicholas Butchley.
Elliot Alper.
Jason Mukai.
Matthew Ganley.
Grant Johnson.
Alex Rubin.
Alexandria Ott.
Zach Balden.
Andrew Stearns.
Ambrose G.
Abhishek Bajaj.
Lauren Gulshan.
Michael Jacobson.
Jacqueline Puglisi.
Jill Fennell.
Nicole Blue Pavlovic.
Benny Feinsilberger.
Kelsey Christine Drinkard.
Molly McGovern.
Kelly Hanshin.
Alyssa Sanford.
Mackenzie Anna Kraus.
Chloe Deschamps.
Adrian Marie Leon.
Riley Wendling.
Serena O'Neill Stafford.
Kyle Bransky.
Madeline Rudd.
Derek Brock.
Camille Perry.
Nigel Hall.
Megan Ingram.
Ivana Orlovich.
Brennan Zinzer.
Ivana Orlovich.
Gabe Gronig.
Satchel Cold.
Brandon Zillis.
Sean Raffetto Mayer.
Evan Laws.
William Conlon Garcia.
Caitlin Rumer.
Shay Cassidy.
Perry Sear.
Ian Brody.
Lynn Chafee.
Robbie Shab Jr.
Elizabeth Palmer.
Sarah Cable.
Prabdeep Chuckle.
Tiffany Matthews.
Hannah Long.
Sammy Savage.
Shelby Garrison.
Michelle Bauer.
Corinne Sandstrom.
William Liao.
Claire Coppola.
Carl Pearson.
Michelle Henderson.
Scott Bowers.
Razik Parikh.
John Marcelia.
Andrew Begerpour.
Robert Baskin.
Chase Kierlaber.
Paul Gench.
Henry Hyman.
Matthew Greenwood.
Dominique Bonflasha.
Griffin Keith.
Janae McCauley.
Catherine Winesley.
Johanna Maladina.
Benjamin Reedy.
Ashley Wall.
Jessica Thomas.
Marissa Stanaway.
Mary Chi.
Ashley Ung.
Megan Kim.
William Liu.
Carrie Carmina.
Tyler Cowan.
Elena Louie.
Sophia Van Hollebeck.
Tanya Arciniega.
Will McNamara.
Guillermo Condamaran.
Kelvin Yuchen.
Gabe Moore.
Paul Wright.
Spencer Lubenow.
Matthew Beroth.
Sean Underwood.
Jacob Ronish.
Oliver Albee.
Sydney Zeldis.
Mark Toda.
Sydney Burton.
Lizzie Lee.
Lindsay Letney.
Jackie Lynn.
Michaela DiToa.
Jack Solero.
Chris Kim.
Samantha Mouchette.
Jawad Ali.
John Chu.
Chandler Erisman.
David Park.
Alexander Sayak.
Jessica Lowe.
Robert McKenna.
Christina Vu.
Alexander Clark.
Yiju Emma Chang.
Drew Isaac.
Colleen Geigley.
Catherine Kavanaugh.
Nadira Rahman.
Sky Phoenix Stahl.
Bo Stoffer.
Megan Harn.
Ashley Fabian.
Brittany Iseri.
Alexis Alverson.
Jacqueline Dotemoto.
Kylie Drynan.
Jasmeet Permar.
Kylie Aerosmith.
Brandon Long.
Georgia Wellman.
Austin Cheng.
Rebecca Brazier.
Matthew Owen.
Catherine Lockhart.
Nathan Christie.
Connor McMurdo.
Mark Smith.
Neve Yaron.
David Pontarolo.
Alexandria DiJahara.
Craig Buchanan.
Brian Chung.
Andrew Mote.
Gleb Malachikov.
Jacob Kobzi.
Jacob Hugeworth.
Chase Olson.
Bronson Berry.
Clayton Holm.
Alonzo Ruiz Martinez.
Amy Askew.
Yun Dow.
Brady Schneider.
Mason Delahook.
Rachel Harmeyer.
Brett Mankey.
Caprianne Kavanaugh.
Tyler Patnode.
Natalie Lofgren.
John Warrington.
Samantha Lee.
Chad Klansnick.
Harminder Matu.
Chase Olson.
Anderson Zoe.
Harrison Baxter.
Mihir Reddy.
Pete Conroy.
Wilson Christento.
Garrett Jackson.
Joanna Sarbopoulos.
David Van Holm.
Amanda Hoffman.
Aaron Anders.
Justice Ladenburg.
Rena Flick.
Joyce Lynn.
Anna Floyd.
Rebecca Clark.
Stephanie Niles.
Nicholas Smith.
Tessa Tudor.
Randy Gordon.
Jacob Pruchnow.
Davy Sue.
Sydney Kane.
Alvin Tang.
Megan Cordell.
Nahoa Jetty.
Alyssa Kruger.
Amber Yingxi Zhang.
Katarina Mello.
Melissa Chan.
Ann Millspow.
Marissa Yuka Leong.
Olivia Kingston.
Lyndon Lamb.
Olivia Howland.
Gigi Long.
Molly Ness.
Jared Tate.
Katie Clark.
Jason Yen.
Ava Nasirian.
Samantha Peterson.
Lauren Patrick.
Catherine Mounsey.
Melissa Dickinson.
Kelsey Dumo.
Brian Menard.
Chantel Bali.
Roberto Sanchez.
Milin Nu.
Jacob Vanderpeet.
Kai Lee.
Alex Menard.
Amy Pham.
Keenan Smith.
Gabrielle Wimley.
Courtney Curtin.
Marcella Quinones.
Julia Brakeman.
John Glade.
Emmy Leitzel.
Maradi Duong.
Marie Johansson.
Jacqueline Fuller.
Kelly Sykes.
Rachel Travis.
Margaret Lynch.
Evan Afline.
Jacob Schultz.
Brian Whipfler.
Richard Gartenberg.
Maxwell Hopkins.
Shane Siegelman.
Savan Vakaria.
Jennifer Wong.
Mark Elder.
Elaine Chan.
Michael Augustus Fano.
Esma Dakhil.
Timothy Nelson.
Louis Liu.
Yoon-San Chu.
Otis Cooper West.
Ruby Borum Lee.
Peter Amick.
Razia Sabatova.
Nate Schuler.
Brooke McKinnon.
Jack Nickel.
Linda Wynn.
AJ Nordy.
Ji-Yoon Jung.
Jillian Dixon.
Lucy Target.
Amanda Smith.
Jung Son Park.
Allison Wolford.
Eunice Lin.
Kimberly Boudreau.
Benjamin Werrett.
Carrick Brown.
Camden Buchanan.
Tyler Pedersen.
Attar Ratman.
Cyrus Fardy.
Chelsea Zybach.
Noah Zwerin.
Shaizak Khalisa Syed Mohammed Khalid.
Nathan Lee.
Kevin Cha.
Reese Pearson.
Melody Liu.
Maya Olson.
Gina Lai.
Hannah Desgupta.
Danger Atwater. Evan Danger Atwater.
Jasmine Garza.
Jared Ha.
Daniel Nikolai.
Brendan Perry.
Kristen Krieger.
Jigger Arenbold.
Nicole Persons.
Jennifer Shin.
Tracy Andrews.
Nella Kwan.
Madison McKenzie.
Nicolene Labita.
Justine Wu.
Eileen Ong.
Nicholas Ecton.
Grace Imjin Kim.
Christopher Gonzalez.
Jennifer Dawn.
Eliana Gruhout.
Yilin Jang.
Hannah Dalling.
Robbie Williamson.
Karen Jott Gill.
Pete Warzinski.
Taylor Anderson.
Anna Cho.
Evan Ibarra. Michelle May.
Jonathan Limawan.
Anna Crabtree.
Kevin Chungwarwar Danang.
Junha Shin.
Stephen Bianco.
Nihar Baxi.
Diana de Guzman.
Paluth Silva.
Suleiman So.
Ryan Abrahamson.
Catherine Eng.
Tommy Medawar.
Avina Vong Perdith.
Kathy Feng.
Lena Chow.
Anudari Oldukbar.
Tyler Tasaka.
Mathilde Lagardette.
Kevin Chen.
Harjot Basi.
Daniel Lee.
Cody Shimazu.
UNC Cheng Sai.
Christopher DeGustu.
Jin Chao Cheng.
Gabrielle Ton Wei Lin.
Kashin Chu.
Marissa Limierta.
Mackenzie Curran.
Janet Chen.
Melanie Kim.
Teresa Chung.
Ty Chelsvik.
Eileen Lee.
Brendan Long.
Sabina Sue.
Logan Fitzgerald.
Sophie Wan On Wing.
David Irvine.
Kyle Walkley.
Philip Ito. Brady Carlson. Matt Johnston. Ian Robert Kirby. Andrew Chen. Ryan Bach. Andrew Ewan. Rochelle Pierce.
My people, I love you. Congratulations to all of you. Grads, let's just take one moment here to thank family, friends, and supporters for making today possible. So thank you all. All right, you're not done quite so easy. How about just a little bit of managerial accounting for old time's sake, huh? No? All right, you remember your inventory flow of costs? Sure you do. Well, I have often remarked that each of you being honored here today came to us as raw material. That's a metaphor. Ready to learn new ideas and ready to experience new challenges. As you were transferred into work in process, our esteemed faculty added doses of labor and overhead, some of you requiring a bit more labor than others. Now, in all seriousness, I am honored to call you, to look at you and think of you as what we make as our finished goods. Okay, that's just a metaphor. We don't produce widgets, we make outstanding young people. And you're the next generation of business leaders, no matter where you choose to journey. As I say, you are what we make, you are our product. And because of that, each of you now bears that special patina, a patina of purple and gold that comes from immersing yourself in the education and the opportunities that are part of the Foster School experience. With that, if you would please, I would like all you to stand. We would go through the ceremonial tradition of the turning of the tassel. Please rise. All right. Graduating seniors, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side of your cap. That's the debit side. Congratulations. Please be seated. I guess it's obvious to say that I am proud of you, is putting it mildly. My colleagues and I are honored to call you graduates and alumni. Now go out there and continue to do great things. Make us proud. With that, we are at the end of our celebration for today. I ask all of our guests to remain seated until the recessional concludes. To everyone in the room, thank you for coming and have a wonderful rest of the day. Congratulations and go Huskies.
celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Yeah, yeah. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. Come on now. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright, baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. Celebrate good times, come on. Celebrate good times, come on. It's a